Alright, welcome to this video. I want to do something new. I want to share how this client of mine, a Danish coach and consultant in the finance space, how he will earn more than $10,000 worth of points from using US credit cards. That's what I want to show you today. So before I take on any client at all, I want to make sure that they are meeting the qualification criteria I set in my business. These criteria are very important in order to actually achieve something with US credit cards, something beneficial for your business. So that's why I'm very, very in depth when I talk about the qualification with my clients, because they have to know what they are signing up for. So first of all, we want to make sure that the client is qualified in terms of getting enough output from the input. And a good rule of thumb here is that if you're spending more than $10,000 a month, it's a no-brainer for you. So just to show you the calculation of this, how much you are actually gonna get from using US credit cards, I put in the calculation here. I have a link to it as well. If anyone wanna see it, just let me know. But here you can see that he's actually gonna earn $10,800 worth of points if you use the points best practice from this. So we have confirmed that he's spending more than $10,000 a month. Therefore, it's a no-brainer for him. He's gonna actually see something, a bigger output than the input. It's also important that he has a long-term vision, because this is not something you're gonna see results on tomorrow. But like most business owners, they agree with this. Otherwise, they wouldn't most likely be in business, because you have to have a long-term vision for your business. Otherwise, you're not gonna survive. So that's very lucky for this client as well, because if you're not long-term visionary about this, then you're not gonna work with me for this. He's also ready to get the ITIN number and ready to get a virtual US address, which are required for actually getting approved by banks in the United States. So as we confirmed he was qualified to go through this whole process, and he can actually benefit from using US credit cards, I presented him with the option to go through the whole thing himself, or to get my help in my Done For You program, Apex. As most business owners, he values his time a lot, so he would rather spend money having an expert like me to actually help him through the whole process. So we moved on and started the process. So this is the process I'm gonna take him through. So there's really two ways to go here. You can either take the US route or the global transfer route. For this client, it's gonna be the US route, as he's based in Denmark. And in Denmark, we don't have any American Express setup that is sufficient for this. But if you're living in countries like the UAE, in Dubai, or you're living in Germany, you're living in the UK or other places where you actually have an American Express branch locally, then you can take the global transfer route. Don't worry about this if you're living in countries like that. I will make another case for this. Actually, it's coming out tomorrow, hopefully, of a guy living in Dubai. So back to this. We're gonna take the US route, and first of all, we need to get the ITIN number, which is required for actually applying with the US banks. We're also gonna set up a virtual US address. For this guy, he already have a friend in the United States, so he can actually use his address for that, saving a lot of money in this whole setup. So once you have the ITIN number and the virtual US address documentation, and just an important note, it can't be just any virtual US address. It has to be an address that is not flagged as a commercial mail receiving agency, which is basically just mail forwarding services. So it has to be a special virtual US address. This is something we help our clients with if the client doesn't have any address accessible themselves. Okay, moving forward. So when you have the ITIN and the virtual US address documentation, you can then open the first US bank account. When opening the first US bank account, we really have two options here. We can either go physically and open them in the United States, or we can open them online. There's no right or wrong here. It's a matter of what suits you the best. I would always suggest that you go physically to the United States, build up trust and opening bank accounts with them physically and face to face, because banking and credit in the United States is very trust based. So that's what I would recommend. But it's possible to do it online too. I've done it online myself, and I'm actually going physically to the United States soon with a client to open up bank accounts there. So both options are good. Recommend it physically in the United States if it's possible, of course. So once you have your first bank account for these clients, it's all about just use the bank and build up the credit score, because the credit score is important, which I'm gonna elaborate on in a second. But how you use the bank it really doesn't matter. It's very simple. It's just using the bank and the credit cards as you have been already doing with your current banking solution. But back to the credit score. So once you start using the bank properly, the bank will then report your activity to a credit bureau. And in the United States, the credit bureau will then issue a report with a credit score, because this credit score is being used by the banks to determine how much risk they're willing to take with you, and therefore how much credit they want to give you. So it's therefore very, very important to be patient in the credit building process, because trust isn't something that's just handed over. It's something you have to earn your rights to. So while you're building up trust and building up your credit score, it's about having the credit card strategy in mind. What do you want to achieve with this? What is best for your situation, maximizing your earning potential? So that's what we are already in process with this client. While building up the trust, we want to set up a credit card strategy that maximizes his earning potential from his current situation. So he's spending a lot of money on ads. So for this client, it's all about getting American Express Business Gold and Chase Ink Business Preferred. Because those two cards, they maximize the earning potential on categories such as advertising spend with Meta and with Google Ads. So that's really something that will earn him a lot of points, that will improve his output from US credit cards overall. So before we can actually get those business credit cards, it's about building trust on a personal level using personal credit cards. So that's why we're gonna apply for American Express, the gold card, and getting a foot inside of the Chase ecosystem as well, getting the Sapphire Preferred on a personal level. Using these cards on a regular basis, paying on time, setting up automatic payments so you don't miss any payments. And then you build up trust and build up your credit score in this process. And then once you have done that and build up the credit score and trust, then you can apply for credit cards. And the banks will happily give them to you because you have built up trust and you have built up your credit score. And now you have business credit cards. So this is the whole roadmap for this client, is to get the business credit cards, because that's the point where you can really utilize the US banking system and the US credit system. That's why you earn a lot of points without it actually having any implications for your credit score. This can be a bit technical, but that's why we want to go through the whole process for building up trust eventually to get the business credit cards. So a lot of people are interested in getting US credit cards because they know how many points they can do. They see a lot of people online talking about flying for free, staying at 5-star hotels for free, etc. But not a lot of people are talking about how much is it actually costing for people who's not living in the United States. So that's what I'm going to break down here for this client in specific. So first of all, we have the ITIN number that he has to get. In this case, it's actually included in the fee I'm charging, so he doesn't have to pay that. But the total here for him is $3,300 for the next 3 months. The whole cost of operation, including the US credit card subscription and setting up the US LLC. So that might seem like a lot of money for some people, but it's an investment in actually getting getting access to the best banking and credit card solutions in the world. And as you can see here, he's also getting a positive return on investment of more than $10,000 worth of points, to be exact, $360,000, no, 360,000 points. And this is just with him spending $10,000 a month in his business. Just imagine if as he's telling me, he will scale his business within the next year or two. He will spend 20K a month, 50K a month. Then the output is just gonna grow exponentially. So this is really about building a foundation that you can, once you grow your business, you can also get a lot of points that you can spend on luxury travel and other things beneficial for you that you wouldn't have got if you used your current banking solutions. So I also get a lot of questions about what can you actually get for these points, because what are points? Do they even have a real cash value? And yes, they do. So you can see here 360,000 points. Here I have some examples for what you can actually get if you spend 100,000 points. And it's really important here that it's not always the same. It's about grabbing deals, but these are examples that are real. So you can get a business class ticket from Copenhagen to Dubai with Emirates. You can get 8 nights on Grand Hyatt in Dubai. You can get a business class ticket from Helsinki to Bangkok with Finnair. You can get 50 nights on Marriott in Bangkok. And you can get a business class ticket from Dubai to Bali with Emirates. And you can use your point with most airlines and more than 10,000 hotels worldwide. So you can see the map in here. There's a lot of hotels. There's no really reason to worry about am I ever gonna be able to spend these points. Yes, you are. If you're traveling, if you are staying in hotels, you are definitely gonna be able to use it, and you can stay for free. It's gonna be much more fun to actually stay in better hotels, upgrading for business or first class. But if you don't want to spend that, you can also spend your points on Amazon and other e-commerce platforms, even though I wouldn't recommend this as it's not maximizing your points value. So that's it. That's how this client of mine, a finance coach and consultant, spending more than $10,000 a month on ads, will earn more than $10,000 worth of points using US credit cards. So recently I've gotten a lot of demand for the service and a lot of interest for actually getting help with getting US credit cards. So if you're interested in that, if you're spending more than $10,000 a month, it's really a no-brainer for you. If you're spending even more, you're just leaving money on the table and not getting US credit cards. So if you have any questions, if you want me to break down your situation and give you a clear roadmap of what you can actually do, if you decide to work with me, or if you decide to take this road trip yourself, I was about to say, then just reach out to me. I'm happy to help. So yeah, that's it. If you have any questions, just let me know. Ciao.